I'm glad I could be such a big part of your journey and what you've learned.
I think you're being a dismissive jerk
If we were charging $50 to rent temple clothes and there was like the basic model and the plus version, Jesus would flip that table.
Yeah, we can watch The Amazing Grace.
There you go.
Okay.
Watch BYU TV. Anything on there is safe.
So we have some things to get off our chest.
We do?
I don't know if it's going to be quite like that, but
It sounds all intense.
well, I was trying to think of a good way to start the episode. Do you have anything else?
I mean, I was just going to say, you guys have been saying some stuff and it is time to respond.
That's so like generic.
Okay. Better than your clickbait intro.
Eric, we have to do what we have to do.
Should we jump into it?
Yeah. So, well, if you can't tell by the title of this episode, we are going to be responding to some comments. So most of these are from our YouTube videos, obviously, but we also do social media, like we do Instagram and TikTok. So some of the comments are from those. So with those videos, in case you haven't seen it, we'll be playing the clip and then reading the comment and then responding. So you'll know what we're talking about. But
Pretty high tech.
I mean, I guess you could say that. I feel like pretty basic for a podcast, but good for us. Let's jump into it. The first one, I don't know if we want to just start with this first one. You go for it. It's kind of, we're starting off with a bang.
All right.
Just for reference, this comment was on the episode with me and, well, obviously I'm in all of them, but me, and we're interviewing Miss Utah. So,
Okay.
like our second episode.
The church has changed a lot. My parents and grandparents are very racist. They were taught that only white people will be in the celestial kingdom. I distanced myself from, what? I've distanced myself from my LDS family. They revere Benson and other old racist Mormons.
Like President Ben, like the old prophet?
Ezra Taft Benson's what they're saying. LDS theology is as racist as it is homophobic. I can't tolerate that garbage.
First of all, that had nothing to do with the episode. Besides the fact there were two Asian American women. Maybe they were like, wow, there are Asian women talking about the church. That's the only connection I can see. But there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. I don't know of that ever having been taught.
You know, that's the thing. We don't know. Like, we can't say whether people saying white people are the only people who are going to be in the celestial kingdom. We can't say if that was ever taught in an LDS church, but that is not true. And it's not our doctrine. So I don't know what else to say besides that. I mean,
maybe somebody's crazy uncle was in a church building, so it was taught in a church.
I mean,
I've
then,
just never heard of that being taught, even like people saying stuff back in the day. Anyway.
I mean, we don't know, but we can say that it's not. There were racist people in the church. Like, I think we can say that. There's racist people everywhere.
There's plenty
especially
of sinners
like
in the church. That's what we're here for.
Obviously, it's not condoned and it's not good, and the church says we should not be racist, but like it happens, unfortunately. But it's not true. I am very doubtful that any of the prophets have ever said only white people make it into the celestial kingdom. Because even going to blacks in the priesthood, why would they even like let them go through the temple if that's not even a chance? Anyway, it's a whole thing. But anyway, next. Okay, this person was just asking, is it true that you can't enter the temple if you drink coffee? Because Joseph Smith was a coffee drinker. He also drank wine. So to answer your question, no, it's not true that you can't enter the temple if you've drank coffee. You can have drank coffee like...
Oh, true. They say past tense.
Like previously in your life.
They said if you drank.
Yeah. You can't hold a current temple recommend and be drinking coffee because that's against the word of wisdom, which is in the temple recommend. Questions, it's a commandment from God. So no, but if you've like drank coffee before, you can repent of that as long as it's not current. Going into Joseph Smith was a coffee drinker. Yeah, for sure. He also drank wine. So did Jesus. Basically, the word of wisdom was instated in 18 something.
Later than Joseph Smith.
Later than Joseph Smith.
Some of the stuff started rolling out, but it was a process over time and changed. So
And I get like why people are like, well, that's weird. He drank coffee and he's like the founder of your church, which he's not even the founder because Jesus is the founder. But that's what we believe is like that we're a living church and we believe in getting current revelation from God. So that was just instated later. So yeah, he drank coffee, he smoked cigarettes. A lot of Latter-day Saints did. But after the word of wisdom, even after the word of wisdom, there was a little bit of a period where it was just like a recommendation where it's not what it is today. We can do a whole episode on that, I'm sure, with some scholar. But that is that. Okay, I'm trying to be quick. I don't know if you can tell. I'm trying to be quick.
I did not think we were going to go this into these things.
I know.
I thought we were commenting and moving on, and you're like,
let's
go to the history of the
this
church.
Person had like an actual question. I know. I'm like, we need to be really fast paced. Okay. I'm trying to like talk quickly. Okay, next.
I will note respectfully that most other religions do not have this constant struggle with history and faith crises. Most religious people do not have these concerns or even the concept of a shelf.
This is from the episode we did with Jasmine where we kind of talk about like faith crises and shelves and all of that.
Yeah. I disagree. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have questions. They have a lot of different stuff. Like a lot of people join the church because they say, I had all these questions in my old church that they just couldn't answer. They could. So I think to say, oh, they don't have a shelf, I feel like it's just not recognizing that people in other faiths do have questions. And a lot of the times that's why they stopped going and stuff. So I think it's interesting because our church is so centered on receiving answers and, you know, how Joseph Smith started the restoration through asking questions. I feel like we talk about having questions more than other churches do. So we admit that people have questions and we recognize that more maybe, but I don't think it's fair to say that people in other religions don't have questions or don't have things they don't understand.
Right. Because even if it's not church history, like other churches may not have that specifically, it may be theological questions. So
like you're trying to tell me Catholic people don't have questions about the history of their church? Like any church that's not brand new, people have questions about its history.
And even then they might have a question about this specific pastor or like, I don't know, different things. So respectfully disagree. But thanks for sharing your experience with us. I think it's interesting to hear.
I think it most inappropriate and unwise to take any member of the first presidency of heaven lightly.
So this is in response to our Halloween episode. Eric's costume was being the Holy Ghost. So I can
see where they're coming from. It makes sense.
Because like you wouldn't dress up as Jesus. We'd be like, okay, that's sacrilege.
Yeah, I think it's because he's so mysterious, you know? We don't know very much about the Holy Ghost, so.
Oh, I thought you were saying Jesus.
No.
Like, I wouldn't describe him as mysterious.
No, I think that's, yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from, but I thought it was fine.
We'll do better.
It's fine to disagree.
I think it's good. Like sometimes comments can keep us in check. Be like, okay, you know, we got to check ourselves sometimes.
I mean, I wasn't planning on doing it again. Kind of wanted done with costumes, so problem solved.
Okay, so this one we want to watch the video first. So this was on a comment. This was a comment on this YouTube short that we uploaded.
What would you say to someone who's thinking about going on a mission but is worried about almost losing their personality in the process and not being able to have what makes them individual?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I've never known anyone who has left and come back, and if something is stripped away and they don't like it anymore, where they miss it. Because if they get into a situation where on their mission, let's say they really like to do product thing X, which was kind of selfish of them, and all of a sudden they start to realize they really love the people they serve with, and they've fallen in love with the culture and everything else. And so now, instead of choosing to go do that when they get home, they do something relevant to the culture. So you might go to the Latino festival you wouldn't have gone to before. You might have gone and done something else. But you don't miss the other thing. You come home and you adopt the new thing. And so even though it could change what you fundamentally liked when you left, it won't be a negative change.
First of all, you look very handsome. That is from our episode we did at the MTC, which was a good one if you missed it. But the comment just says, go on the mission. Otherwise, you will be a second-class Mormon. You can't ever have a chance at finding a decent wife.
Jeez.
First of all, that has nothing to do with the video besides it's about serving a mission. You just wanted a chance to comment it, okay? Which is fine. Second of all, I disagree with you. I did not serve a mission, as you guys know. I probably say that every episode. I feel like I repeat myself a lot.
That's
It's
why you
actually not
have
good.
a second-class husband right here.
No, not even. I did find a decent husband. I mean, I can
Decent.
see how you're. Oh no.
Just alright.
A good husband. I could see how people could say it's different for women and not men. But I mean, I actually do see where they're coming from. Like feeling like
There can be like a
less
stigma.
than?
Like it can happen. It's
Right.
unfortunate and it shouldn't be that
it
way.
shouldn't be that way.
So it's obviously not like a church doctrinal thing or whatever. But I mean,
It's a culture thing. And like,
Yeah.
I get it. And like, I've been there where people are just assuming you serve, like, where'd you serve? Or like, everyone's talking about it and you're not. And you can say things about, you know, the testimony you build and the knowledge you gain on a mission, but it's not the only place you can gain that. But all I want to say about this is that should not be the motivation of serving a mission, is to not be a second class Mormon or not finding a decent wife.
yeah,
That should not
so
be your
bad.
motivation to go. If that is, rethink things, probably try to get to the right place. But that was kind of a rude comment.
I don't know
It
if you're, I
was.
don't know if you're cut out for this, babe.
Cut out for what? Am I not doing it? What are you saying?
I mean, you're just.
Am I getting
That was a
too
rude
mad?
comment. No, I just mean like, don't take it so personal. People just gonna
Oh,
say
no.
stuff online.
I'm not. I'm not taking it personally.
You said they were rude.
I mean, it kind of was a rude comment.
Just some silly person online. It just
Okay.
happens.
Well, wait, because there actually are some rude ones.
Get ready. Let's go. Making excuses for everything the church does. All religions have a business side. It's okay the church charges people to rent temple clothes despite Jesus flipping tables for that very reason. There's no sexism in the church. Lots of people in other religions have faith crisis. Comes off as ignorance and denial. You can believe in the church and love the church while also criticizing aspects of it. In fact, I think that makes you a better member and follower of Christ. I'm not an ex-Mormon, and I certainly don't dislike or hate the church. I want to see more maturity and thoughtfulness from members. I guess I disagree with where you were coming from, but I agree with your message. Because I would say, like, I don't think we just blindly follow everything. We do ask questions. We do have stuff we talk about or whatever.
Mhm.
But
I think especially on this podcast is something that we try to do, is actually not blindly follow and not be afraid to ask hard questions. So she was talking about specifically like saying all religions have a business side. This person also has a comment that's like talking about how the church has like way more money than like the Catholic Church, she uses an example, which like I don't think in that episode we were denying that. I think we were just saying other churches do have business sides, which we have a lot more money than
plus
them,
the
but, like,
Jesus flipping tables thing, okay?
oh, with the renting the temple clothes?
Very different.
That's a new one. I haven't really seen many people criticizing
If we were
that.
charging $50 to rent temple clothes and there was like the basic model and the
Mhm.
plus version, Jesus would flip that table.
Yeah.
But when they charge you the cost of laundering clothes
Mhm.
to
'Cause
rent it, like
There's
I don't
paid
see him
laundry
flipping the table.
employees. There's paid laundry employees in the temple. So it's like, that's why. It's not. And then
would
sometimes
you rather they just don't offer the clothes? And you're like, well, hey, unfortunately, we cannot offer any services close to the temple because that'd be bad. So we just have to like, sorry, got to go down the street.
Yeah. Like, what if you forget something?
Yeah,
I guess they
mean,
would say you just like give it to you for free, but
I just feel like the whole thing there is like taking away from the ordinances performed, obviously is the wrong thing,
Mhm.
but I feel like it's done very tastefully in the temple, and there's no salesman there trying to be like, hey man, you need some clothes.
Can
trying
you
to get some extra clothes
imagine?
here.
Or even when it comes to like buying garments, because garments, like what I've heard is they try to keep it as close to just the cost of the clothing as possible, and they make it more affordable in like other countries that.
But they don't even sell those in the temple. That's separate.
Right. They don't even, I mean, you could say temple grounds if there's a distribution center, but stuff.
I mean, it's next door.
But I'm just saying, even with that, the church is not trying to make money off of us from garments or renting temple clothes.
Cool. All right, next.
Okay.
Context.
Yes. So this one is in response to a YouTube short that we posted.
Are Mormons Christian? Yes. Members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints undoubtedly affirm themselves to be Christians. They worship God the Eternal Father in the name of Jesus Christ. They believe the Bible to be the Word of God and believe that following Jesus leads to happiness in this life and eternal life in the world to come. For more information on Christianity and beliefs of Latter-day Saints, check out our Third Hour blog.
That is an interesting video. I hadn't watched that before.
Eric.
It's just an interesting style. They put sunglasses on Jesus.
Eric, we're on the record. I think it's
fun.
good. I think it's good.
Anyway.
Okay, so
see
this.
that wonderful video.
Oh, stop.
That was a
we
compliment.
need to read. Okay, just don't say anything. Okay, so this comment is a response to that video. It says, no, they are not. They believe in a God that was once human, that Jesus and Satan are brothers. They are not. Jesus is God. He is not a created being. God is not a created being. There's not an angel Moroni. There are not gold plates that a con man, Joseph Smith, claims to have read. They are way far away for Christianity. Don't believe this. Okay, Deborah. I'm gonna use her name. Deborah.
I mean,
I'm
that's
gonna need
good, though.
you
They
to-
call it that distinction as being different. Because some people don't realize, like, how
I'm saying what's
our
different.
faith is different. The
Oh.
origin of God and those kind of
So
things.
you appreciate her comment.
Sure. I mean, I feel like some people hate on our church and don't even know what we believe in. Obviously, she disagrees, but she named some good stuff in there, you know? We believe that God was once human, shows our divine potential and growth. We talk about the Jesus and Satan are brothers thing. Always just cracks me up because, like, people say that Jesus is the son of God, then they say that, I mean, I feel like a lot of people believe that, but then when they say brothers, then it freaks them out.
Well, yeah, I mean, I get where they're coming from.
But
Because if you grow up your whole life, and I mean, even for people who, like, some people say, like, God wasn't even created, Jesus wasn't even created, and then I hear
Right.
him and Satan are brothers, it's like, whoa. So I get it.
I
just
know.
have
It's just-
different-
I feel like a lot of people believe that, though, about Jesus is the son of God,
Yeah.
and then Satan
Was a
is
fallen
a fallen
angel.
child of God.
Yeah.
So, like, child, brother.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, like, I explain that to so many people on my mission because they're like, you believe Jesus and Satan are brothers? What the heck?
I
Like,
know. Who is spreading, like,
I'm
'cause
like,
I
yes,
get
we
it, but,
do.
like-
And so what?
yeah.
So do you. And they're like, oh, I do, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, I get, like, apparently she does not because she's making a distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus is God. She's saying Jesus is not the son of God. So then Satan is a son of God. So it's separate. Fine. You disagree with us. That's cool.
But, like, here's the thing. Why, Deborah, does this make us not Christian?
Well,
There are
she's saying we
different...
believe in the wrong God. So then it makes you not Christian because Christianity is a separate God. So
Okay,
she's just trying
but
to make that
how?
distinction
But
of
how
our
does that make
theology.
it different from, like, Baptists and Catholics and Protestants and, like, born again Christians? Like, we all have slightly different beliefs, and you can go. I know we have even more beliefs. Like, I would say, if I was gonna write this comment, I would say, okay, no, you say you have a living prophet, like you have the Book of Mormon, which is adding upon scripture. I just think there are better arguments than, like,
Angel Moroni is
this
an interesting one
as
to be
what
mad
makes
about.
us not Christian. Yeah, how do you even know who Angel Moroni is? It's fine that you do. This is just surprising. I would have written this differently. If
mean, the
you
first
need an
half, yeah.
anti-comment to be written, call me up because
Don't
I've heard it
find
all.
her phone number. That'd be weird.
I could manufacture the best anti-comment. I won't, though. Well, I'm just saying.
That's weird.
I'm just saying I could. It's like when they say lawyers or, like, I don't know, like people who could hide a dead body are the ones who are, like, good, like, in the law. Like that show. Do you know what I'm saying?
You lost me. People that could hide a dead body are good at the law.
Are good with the law. Like, know the laws, know what to do.
You're trying to say
It's
that if
like
you're a
the
lawyer, you'd know how to hide a body?
Okay, maybe not lawyer, but maybe, like, people who find dead bodies. So,
I feel like we are way off
like
track
a
now.
cop.
Members of the church do not believe in hiding dead bodies, Deborah. Okay. We're Christian.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next one, we also have to watch the video. Okay, I know this doesn't seem relevant to church stuff for our podcast, but you'll see.
Hey, you're always trying to get me to watch these videos.
These are my favorite.
This is literally you. Just filling our fridge with Diet
This is
Coke.
literally goals. Look with the can things.
That's nice. but you only need that. You don't need it in the door and all these. Like, what are they doing?
It's a Diet Coke fridge. We need more.
And
Keep it coming.
The alternating. What are they doing? Just put all your cans in one spot, all your bottles together.
It's the design. This is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen.
That's insane.
You can't tell me this girl does not live in Utah. Probably Draper.
I mean, yeah, otherwise there'd be beer in the fridge. I mean, even in Utah, you gotta have something else, like some other kind of soda, even if you're trying to go crazy with just soda.
No, this is all you need. This is like, if I won the lottery, this is what I would do. You just need the syrups and the creamer,
that's
too.
That's a small lottery if this is your goal.
Wow. Just watching it again, I'm like, that was a good-looking fridge. Okay, you want to read the comments?
Why do people laugh about addictions? Just because it's a soda addiction doesn't make it okay. Just because you don't drink coffee doesn't mean you're keeping the word of wisdom. Caffeine is not good for you. It's addictive. If that fridge is your dream, then you have a problem. Let's admit that and deal with it.
Okay, calling me out. First of all, we weren't laughing about someone's addiction. Okay, I get it.
Also, she would not drink all that in a day.
Right. But even if she drank it every day, I mean,
you're the she.
Me? No, I only drink Diet Coke.
Saying we're laughing about you being addicted to Coke.
I thought we were laughing at the lady.
The lady was obviously stocking for a wonderful party. She had 100 people coming over. That was one drink per person. She had no problem.
No, listen, I have something to say. People mix up the word of wisdom. This is a hot take, but I think people have made the word of wisdom. We call it a health code because how else do we describe it? It basically is like a health code, but I think
prophets have called it that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Prophets have called it that. That's fine.
Yeah. If you listen to those guys.
If you listen to those guys, but nowhere in the word of wisdom does it say anything about caffeine. It says no hot drinks, which have been interpreted by prophets to mean coffee and tea. It doesn't say no caffeine. And I get wanting to take care of our bodies.
But when prophets have interpreted, they said to avoid potentially harmful substances and habit-forming substances, which is where caffeine comes in.
Right. But you can drink caffeine without forming an addiction to it, which you can argue and say same thing about coffee.
Same thing with meth.
Those things are specified no in the word of wisdom.
Meth is?
Drugs. They've added things that have said any harmful drugs.
So
they have. No, they have for sure.
Harmful drug.
Caffeine is not a drug. Is it?
Depends what you classify as a drug.
Okay,
Here's the thing I'm trying to point out. This stuff is obviously very open interpretation.
Yes.
So some people think caffeine's cut and dry. Mm-hmm. No, it's evil. Mm-hmm. Some people think, you can have some. Some people are like, dude, I pop caffeine pills all day. So
or energy drinks.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, this is one that's not specifically 100% easy to answer. So you got to pray about it. You got to figure it out.
But all I'm saying is nowhere in the word of wisdom or any of the add-ons, because there have been add-ons, I don't know if that's the right word, amendments that have said no vaping. They have recent things that have come out that weren't around in Joseph Smith's time. None of those have said anything about caffeine or energy drinks or soda.
Well, this person would say that caffeine is already covered, so they don't need to add
it. But caffeine is not already covered.
Well, they would say it's covered by the whole drug thing.
Okay, I don't think they're saying caffeine. I don't think that's a common thing.
Well, that's where you disagree.
Is a drug.
So
I think people
addictive.
just assume caffeine is not allowed in the word of wisdom because coffee and tea have caffeine.
People say because it's addictive that you shouldn't have it. That's why.
Okay. Well, I think...
That's why this person's talking about addiction.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying because you drink a Diet Coke, it doesn't mean you're addicted to it.
Very true.
And I know people are going to say, well, just because you drink a coffee doesn't mean you're addicted to it. But it specifically says no coffee. So that's what I'm saying is the difference between soda. And maybe I am fighting this hard because I like a Diet Coke. I do. I'm not going to deny that. But pray about it. And that's my take. I am not the prophet. don't say Mimi's drinking Diet Coke, so I can't. I think it's up to personal revelation. And I do think obviously addiction is very harmful, and there's a reason we want to avoid that. But anyway, that's my beef. This one, we don't even have to watch the video. Someone just straight up in all caps commented boring.
I agree. I'm just kidding.
On what? I'm sorry. Can you ever imagine commenting this?
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, someone,
they took away the thumbs down, so you got to do it sometimes.
like what? I'm
you
like,
just got to
okay.
let people know you're dissatisfied by boosting their engagement with a comment, encouraging other people to then reply to that comment.
Exactly.
That's the best way to get to us.
Shout out Christine. Sorry you don't enjoy my content. You can
Putting you on blast.
look elsewhere.
Don't bully Christine.
Of
She was
course
voicing
not.
her opinion that it was boring, and it might have been. She might have been right.
It might have been. It was a video of me talking about what I wore in my temple ceiling.
Mm.
You were the worst person to say.
As much as I love this podcast, anyone who's followed Mimi for years knows that she's into fashion. Wow, this is funny, right back to back. And Eric is coming off as a dismissive.
You can say, maybe don't say it.
As a dismissive jerk about her passion. I'm sure you love her, bro, but you might want to work on celebrating your wife's interests more. So, I get where you're coming from.
This is in response, by the way. Sorry to cut you off. I think we should get some context. It's about, I think it was in the general conference reaction
about
episode.
Rating people's ties.
I was doing our general conference inaugural outfit ranking.
Our first and last.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was just trying to be funny, and I thought it was funny. Maybe people didn't think it was funny. Maybe people thought it was rude. So hopefully only this guy thought that and other people didn't.
No, someone replied to him and said exactly.
Ooh, well, I don't know. I think it's funny still, but
I mean, I appreciate you looking
Mimi
out
didn't think
for
it was
me,
mean
but
at the time.
No, I didn't take it personally. If anything, I think it's a fun dynamic for the podcast.
But then maybe people would say that just shows how stuck you are in this relationship, that you don't see how you are being beaten down.
Maybe that's true, but no, I don't agree though. Maybe people could see it that way, but I know my relationship, we're very happy. No, we are very happy. I appreciate you looking out for me, but Eric is very supportive of me and my passions. I think it was just for the podcast. It's fine.
I'm not excited about ties.
And that's okay. Okay, so this one's interesting. So this was on a clip of our episode talking about the new temples that were announced in General Conference. Someone commented on TikTok, what is the scriptural basis for building such ostentatious and ornate buildings when all these ordinances could be performed in meeting houses?
Solomon's temple.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know. I mean, it's in the Bible that they literally put like gold and stuff into the walls and all their precious stuff. So like there really is a scriptural basis.
There is.
That's what they did in history. It is a good point, though, that, you know, we could just do it in a church if that's what God told us to do. The things we try to follow revelation. Mm-hmm. And I think the big thing is really just trying to show the reverence for the ordinances and saying it's a house of God. So if we're going to make a house for God, do we want to make it out of some straw or do we want to make it the house out of brick, you know? And so it's like we're going to make it the nicest that we can. The church happens to have quite a bit of money. And building nice temples is not taking away from the ability to care for the poor and to carry out the other missions of the church. So in different economic times, or if the church was struggling, I could see that being more of a big deal. But even when the church very first started, people were crushing up their china to put into the walls of the temple to make it sparkle, to show that sacrifice to the members. So now it's a little bit different where the church has the money. It's not a sacrifice of the members the same way necessarily, but it's still trying to show, hey, we're putting our best up there. If we're making a house of God, we want to make sure that we're taking serious and we're doing our best to do that.
And I think the difference too, just between, that was beautifully said. And I think the difference between that and our meeting houses is we also want the opportunity to have places that we can gather and do things like have a chili cook-off or like have primary activities and things that are really good for us as members to care for one another. And those are things that we wouldn't do in the literal house of God.
I mean, this person would say, oh, just build more church buildings and have them separated, whatever.
Oh, well,
I mean,
gotta
or
make it cute.
Or they could be trying to say make it multi-purpose. So then,
Yeah.
Whatever. But they could be built cheaper, but that's why we don't.
Yep. Okay. This one is so cute. Can I read it? Is it my turn?
No.
I'm going to read it. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Hi, Mimi. This is a message. Sorry. This is a message I got.
Hi.
Hi, Mimi. I've followed you for a while. I've been inactive in the church for several years. I listened to your podcast and just wanted to let you know I returned to church today. Thank you for everything you do /post.
Wow. Thank you. I'm so glad I could touch you and Mimi could be along for the ride for that. I'm glad I could be such a big part of your journey and what you've learned.
I think you're being a dismissive jerk.
Yeah, wow. So obviously it's about Mimi. She does a great job. She's awesome.
No, it's not about me at all.
Yeah, it is.
No,
It
it's
was
not.
literally sent to you. It says, hi, Mimi.
Here's the thing. It's the Spirit.
Oh, well,
Like,
duh.
Well, no, but I think it's important to distinguish that.
Distinguish.
Yeah, because like it is hard sometimes if you're being. First of all, I'm so happy for you. I'm so excited. I have to message her back. I haven't messaged her back yet.
Ooh, how long ago was this?
I don't know. It's okay. I'm gonna message her back.
It'd be awkward. She's not still active because you didn't respond.
Eric, don't put this on me. No, I just think it's important to distinguish that like it really is the Spirit working through technology. Like it is crazy, but like if God has worked through seer stones and like brass serpents, like yes, he can work through Instagram, he can work through TikTok and YouTube. It's just really cool and beautiful to see these things that can be so dangerous for our spirituality also can be so powerful. So I'm so happy for this girl and just feel blessed to be a part of this at all. So this is on a video. We won't play it, but it was a video of me talking about what to do when you're on your period and you wear garments. Like, do you wear underwear with it? What do you do? And so this is a comment I got on that video.
Why in the world are you discussing something sacred to most women who have them? Is nothing sacred to you?
Well, yes, garments are very sacred to me.
Are the scriptures sacred to you?
The scriptures?
Do you talk about them?
Okay, well, I can see why garments are different than the scriptures.
I'm just talking about something does not make it sacred. Talking about Jesus does not make him sacred. Like that's kind of silly. Like I get the whole temple thing. Like there's certain things about the temple we don't reveal, but that's separate. You can't just not talk about garments because they're sacred.
I think what her beef is that I'm talking about it on Instagram. And I don't know. I tried to make it fun because it's not really a fun topic. And I think she just saw it as disrespectful. But I would argue like.
She didn't even say that. She didn't say, you should discuss this in a different way. She just like shouldn't have talked about that. But then where are women supposed to find out about this if no one's going to talk about it?
That's the thing. There are things in the temple that we are told not to disclose. What to do when you're on your period with garments is not one of those things. And I know for some people that's uncomfortable. Like that topic, periods, is uncomfortable in general. But I am a believer that like if you look at this post specifically, there's like literally hundreds of comments of people being like, this is what I do. Thank you for having this conversation. Like I didn't know what to do. I've been doing it differently. I'm going to try something else, whatever. And like, obviously things still need to be up to personal revelation, what you do. But I think just like having these open conversations about things that aren't really talked about is so important because some people aren't like our only member in their family or just aren't comfortable like talking to people about it. Like, yeah, where are these people supposed to get this
just go
information?
ask your bishop, right?
Like, No. Some people don't, like, some people aren't comfortable with that.
Yeah, or like the Relief Society president is like some 60-year-old lady, and
Yeah.
they're like this 30-year-old getting baptized, and they're like, I don't want to go ask her.
Right. It's just like I made this video thinking like this is the conversation I wish I had before I got my garments. And so anyway, I think it might be a generational thing, and so I get it, but I did just want to address like, yes, garments are so sacred to me, and I take that very like it's very important to me. And when I make videos about garments, I do try to be very just conscious of that and respectful, but like we need to have these conversations. Okay. Now these are personal attacks. Well, I just feel like they are because they're all
on your
addressed
Instagram?
to me. No, this was on the 3rd hour. Okay, this one we have to watch.
Okay, let's see
the video.
Hello?
Mom,
Yeah.
can you come get me? People are getting engaged.
Wait, what?
So just a funny,
Yeah.
silly little video. Go ahead.
Looks like a future cat lady. She could have gone somewhere else if she's more comfortable with promiscuity than early commitment. She implies people are getting engaged on 1-month acquaintance when they could have been assessing the match for years, over both going on missions after knowing each other and their families for years and years. She values the assumptions of shack up and divorce culture over more deeply shared values. Going to her mama first like this indicates she ends up a nightmare for any guy she happens to fool into giving her the party without the life of real marriage. Change my mind. How do you get that from this video?
Just the fact that
Like,
reading
what?
that comment was longer than the entire video. I don't even know what he was trying to say. Besides
Any
the fact
girl
that
scared of someone getting married a month after going to college is going to grow up as a scary cat lady, apparently. And her having a good relationship with her mom is a red flag.
I'm like, why is he saying I'm more comfortable with like shack up and divorce culture?
Yeah, that's also a crazy jump to being like, oh no, people are getting married after 1 month, is saying, I wish they were just sleeping around.
There is definitely a middle ground there.
Yeah,
It's just weird because this guy, it seems like he comments on our other videos and is like watches our channel. I think he didn't realize that was me in the video.
I don't know. Weird.
I just have to say, I will never be a cat lady. I am allergic to cats.
That's not you. He means the girl in the video.
The girl in the video is allergic to cats. Okay. This is a direct message I got on Instagram. Hi, Mimi. I've been following for a couple years now, but never really interacted much. But I do love all your content. Sorry, that didn't need to be read. But thank you. I just want
You said it so quiet.
What?
It's just weird.
What?
You just said it so softly.
Well, because I was like, I could have
say
skipped that. I don't want people to be like,
sorry, guys.
wow, she's just
I got
like-
this comment. Mimi, you're the greatest. You're amazing. I love you. You're so awesome. Wow, you're the
I
best.
just like, they don't need to hear that. Okay, let's just skip forward. I just wanted to say that I was born and raised in the church, baptized at 8, did seminary, young women camp. I loved it all. I loved the gospel. I never ever felt pressured to be perfect or just a mother or like I've been restricted somehow. It really confuses me when I stumble upon women on social media that left the church because they felt like they needed to be perfect or because the church doesn't allow women to be career or business oriented. It's really mind blown emoji for me. I don't claim to know everything about the church or the gospel, but that is not what the gospel teaches. On top of that, the church provides so many opportunities for higher education for all women/men. I've always loved the church because it teaches us to grow in all aspects of our life and has many resources/guides/classes. That has always been the one thing I flex about the LDS church. Yeah, so I think this is really an interesting take. I think you're right. Like the church absolutely encourages women and men to pursue higher educations, to grow in every aspect of our lives. I think where this criticism comes from is probably rooted from the Family Proclamation, where it talks about how women, their role is to be like nurturers and mothers and just like prophets and people teaching that being a mother is the best calling you can have and like our purpose is to be mothers.
Which is all shared in like a positive light, of course.
Oh, for sure. It's never like you belong in the home. But I just think there's a balance, and I think it's different for everyone. And we did actually a wonderful episode with Maddie. We'll have it linked below, where we talk all about motherhood. But I think that's just the difference, is when you look at it in a positive light, and obviously the way that the church is actually teaching it is it's like you can be a mother and you can have an education and you can have a career. Obviously being a mother is like your main priority, but those other things are never shut out of the picture. But I think if you are looking at it from a different lens, it is like, wow, the church is saying I need to be a mother. And even though they say I can get a higher education, that obviously isn't a priority for them. I think it's just like looking at it from different points of view, which obviously everyone has their own experiences and perspectives. But I think, I don't know. That's just, I don't even know if that makes sense. Really.
I was going to say, I think some of this definitely comes down to people's ward, just the people that they're around, because they are not prophets and apostles. They don't speak for the church, and yet unfortunately say stuff like that, where like, I'm sure there are some older women in these wards that a girl's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go get this degree so I can go work this job. And they're like, why would you need to work a job? You're going to be a mother.
Right.
And you know, like, I'm sure these comments are made by some, I mean, I say women, there are probably men who do too, but I think it's more women who have been mothers who are saying, they might even mean well and be saying, hey, being a mother is the best thing you can do. But they do it in a way that's making people feel bad about everything else they might want to do with their life. So like, that's why I said, you know, prophets, they share that motherhood is the greatest thing in a positive light, not to then say everything else is worse and it's a waste of your life. And if you're doing anything else, you're bad. But other people sometimes read that into it and share that message, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on. It's just the people who are around, and this person, like, hopefully it sounds like she has a really great word culture and hasn't really run into that, but there are people who have, and that's very valid. I know many people who've experienced like leaving the church and like have felt more free or comfortable as a woman and in their womanhood because of leaving. So I get it. Like, I get it. It's a real concern. I think it depends on how you view it and the people who are around you. But just to say anything from personal experience, I loved being a student. I loved my career. I owned a business. And for a long time, like, I was just so fulfilled in that. For a while, we didn't know if like having our own kids was going to be like possible for us. And so I was like kind of accepted, like, okay, my career is my life. And like, I'm happy with that. And since becoming a mom, it's been just, I'm like, this was my purpose of being born. Like, being a mom is it for me. And it's so hard to explain. We talked about this in the episode with Maddie, so I won't go too much in detail, but it's like, it's hard to explain. Like, it's like, once you become a mom, you'll understand. But I know that's not the answer that people want to hear. But anyway, I have a firmer testimony of this now more than ever, of the family proclamation and like why the church has taught certain things that when I was younger, I didn't really understand, of like what I am not fulfilled in my life without being a mom. But anyway, go watch the other episode. It's really good. But I do think like church culture has a lot to do with it. So let's be supportive of women. Like, getting an education is never like, it's always good to keep bettering ourselves.
All right.
Okay. So this is in response to a video I did. Do we want to watch it, or should I just say like what it's about?
I mean, if you'd say it quick, then we can just do that.
So it's about members of Friends, the show Friends, the characters, who they would be in your ward, like what calling they would have. It's just like a funny, silly little video. It was fun. It's fine.
The show Friends is horrible and crass, and I'm surprised the supposed church account is posting stuff like this. I mean, you're kind of right. I mean, you know.
Wait, keep going.
Oh, I guess there's replies. Yeah. Someone said, please tell me you're kidding. And then they said, nope. Seek that which uplifts, inspires, and invites the spirit as you make choices about what to watch, read, listen to, participate in, and think about how it makes you feel. Blah, 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 blah.
It's a quote.
That's
from
what For the
First
Straight
Timothy
Youth pamphlet says, which we also know applies to adults. TV shows with a constant theme of sex and immorality, regardless of how funny it is or inappropriate. You know what? Honestly, that is a good comment.
I know. Here's the thing.
It's funny and I like it and I don't want to feel bad. I mean, there's really no great justification for saying
There's
like
none.
there are sexual jokes in it. It's not the best media out there. We have watched it, but like people make different mistakes, different choices. It's fine.
But not only did I watch the show, but I'm making a video about the show in reference to the church, assuming other members have also watched the show, which a lot of people
it's the same
have.
as The Office. Like there's a lot of members of the church who watch The Office, but same thing. I mean, I guess it's like, wow, there's plenty of members of the church who sin this way and that way. I mean, I don't know what to say besides like, yeah, you're not wrong.
I don't know what to say either. You're not wrong. I'm sorry.
Are you?
I'm sorry that like, yeah, if I'm saying I'm a church account and then I'm saying,
are you a church account?
No. Okay. That's a clarification. But if I claim to be a Latter-day Saint, I don't know. I'll do better. Like I will be more conscious of that. Yeah. I will.
Well, it's interesting because that's like, it's funny because I look at that. I'm like, yeah, my parents, they would never have watched a show like that. But like they also never liked the word butt because they thought that was too rude. And so they're like, oh, well, like, which is funny because for me, like I would say that in a talk over the pulpit at church and not think anything of it, but then realize that there are like plenty of older members in the church that might be like, oh my gosh,
more conservative.
They didn't say bottom. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just interesting differences of your, I want to say level of tolerance or that kind of thing for your level of tolerance for sin.
Because we should have 0% tolerance. There's a 0 tolerance policy of sin in heaven.
There you go.
So you're right. Maybe we should cut out Friends and it's hard because I was going to say like, well, there's just more like back in the day, like you're talking about older members, there were other
more
options.
Clean media.
There was more clean media. Now there's not. But so like maybe we should just not.
When I went to the bar, there just weren't as many non-alcoholic choices, so I had to drink it. I'm sorry. What are you going to do?
Stop. It's not that bad. Maybe it is. I don't know. See?
Not that
no.
bad.
See? No, this really is not good. I'm glad we're talking about this because I'm feeling called out. Maybe we should just not watch TV.
Some people would agree with that, honestly. They're like,
you?
TV is so vile. Everything is getting so bad. Just don't have it. But there's plenty of people I know. I don't know, tons of people I know, but that they literally just don't have a TV in their house because they say there's just not that much good media anymore.
Unless you get Angel, what is it called? VidAngel. Use my code Mimi. I'm just kidding. I mean, you can use the code Mimi if you want, but no, but there are things that help you have options. I was not planning for that.
That's why this whole thing came up. You want to watch Friends without the dirty humor? Get VidAngel today.
We're doing this video so I could address this comment. No, I don't even know if that's the code. Don't use that. It might be like Mimi 10.
But
anyway.
I mean, I guess that's a hard thing about
that's
life.
Thing.
It's like
now,
we say, oh, with language you should only say good things, but then like where's the line? And we don't want to live our whole life chasing like where's the line, but at the same time you do have to kind of decide for yourself where that is and you know what is reasonable.
But like
in
the
your
line
life.
should be 0. Shouldn't we be aiming for 0 sin?
Okay, but then like at what point is it not sin? Is a PG movie? Because that means parental guidance. It means it had some questionable things in there.
Anything, it must uplift, inspire, and invite the spirit. Those are the things we should seek as you make choices. It's literally giving you the answer, Eric.
There you go.
As you make choices about what to watch, read, listen to, or participate in, think about how it makes you feel. Does it invite good thoughts? Stay away from anything that mocks sacred things or that is immoral. I am about to cancel all of our streaming services except VidAngel.
But then you need the other ones because it does those.
I'm only watching shows on VidAngel. I'm like about to throw out our TV. I'm not even kidding. And that's big for me. Like I am a TV girly.
Well, this was a big moment here, folks. She came in to laugh at this person's comment.
No, I wasn't.
Very prudish.
It made me
realize.
I mean, she's kind of.
She's second guessing everything.
It kind of made me feel bad at first, but then I'm like, no, she's prudish. And now I'm never watching Friends again. Don't don't hold me to this. There's a chance I'll probably change my mind in the morning.
Yikes.
It's just so hard. Like I love TV.
It's hard. I mean, that's the big. I mean,
And
this
I
is
love
becoming a long
YouTube.
answer. I mean, it's just challenging because so much of media today has been polluted with different things.
Yeah.
And so you really do have to 100% cut out most everything if you're trying to be super strict. And so then for a
Except
lot of
shouldn't we all be trying to be super
well, so I was
strict?
gonna say, so for a lot of people, then they say, well, that's too much to ask, so I'm gonna compromise
Is
my
it?
standards here and here.
It's TV. We can do a puzzle, Eric. Are you gonna do this with
Forever.
me? Yes.
Just
Not the same
puzzles
one.
every day. That's
I
all
guess
we do.
we can read books.
Hey, Janet, pass me the puzzle pieces.
Why did my name turn to Janet?
You're
Who is
being
Janet?
an old Janet right now.
Eric, I think here's the thing, that scripture, like you can choose God or mammon. I remember hearing that for the first time in seminary and I'm like, why would anyone choose mammon? And here I am choosing mammon every time I turn on my TV.
Because it's fun.
Eric,
That's why.
I know, but that shouldn't be we shouldn't do it.
Well, I think the big thing is being short-sighted, right? Not really thinking through our decisions and saying, we don't say, oh, is this bringing me closer to God or further from God? We say, oh, this looks fun. And that's as far as it goes. And we don't say, oh, well, what effect will this have on me, upon my family, my kids?
Yeah.
Like, what is it? You know, we don't think about all that. We just say, oh, my friend said this show was fun. They said it was funny.
Mhm.
They might have said, oh, just watch out. There's a couple things here and there, but you could skip it. And then you're like, it's too much work to skip stuff. So I just watched it like they did when
Or
they
you're
just
like,
lied
"Oh,
about skipping
it's just
it.
a butt."
You're talking about Thor's butt.
Yeah. Well, like,
How did I know?
well, that was just an example.
Yikes.
Here's
we
the
are going
thing.
downhill here.
We can still watch MasterChef.
Can we? Is the language acceptable in that program?
No, Gordon. Oh my, Eric, my life is over. Now
Is him
every
yelling
time,
and criticizing at chefs uplifting and bringing you closer to God?
now every time I turn on the TV, I'm gonna be like,
It's crazy you've
I'm
never thought
choosing
about this till
mammon.
today.
Well, no. Have you?
Yeah.
Every time you watch TV, you're like, I'm about to sin.
No, I don't say that.
Oh, you should.
Every time? Is that what you think?
I mean, you don't watch any shows that I don't have any sin in them.
I don't.
No.
You're
Everything
making it
has-
sound bad.
Okay, well, it's just like the popular shows. We're not watching like Game of Thrones. We're saying like
Wow, everyone who's a member that watches Game of Thrones is now feeling called out by you.
everyone knows that show is not good. See, here's my line. I wouldn't watch Game of Thrones, but I'll watch Friends. But still Friends,
So you can talk about sex.
don't
They
know.
just can't depict it in the
Friends
movie.
doesn't take away the spirit from me. Maybe it does. And I just didn't realize. Eric, this is really, I wasn't expecting it to go this way. We can watch The Amazing Race.
There you go.
Okay.
Watch the BYU TV. Anything on there is safe.
No. I
So on that
just wish
note,
this
let's
happened
move on.
later in my life.
Let's just repent when we get old.
Oh my gosh, okay. This one is funny. This one is not true.
So this is Mimi has a video about word of wisdom friendly drinks at Starbucks. This person said, I was told by an Area 70 that they were told by some higher ups. He was told by who? That if it has the word chino in the name, it is not word of wisdom appropriate.
No.
That's just silly. The word chino.
Here's the thing. You can avoid chino if you want. It's probably safe, but there are frappuccinos that you can drink that are word of wisdom friendly. I can give you
Because
the
the
list.
problem with frappuccino is that it includes coffee in it.
Usually.
There are frappuccinos that don't include coffee in it. You might say that's kind of a misnaming of it, but it's really just like blended ice with milk and sugar in it. So it's like a milkshake. It just happens to be
really
called a
good.
frappuccino because they want to be cool at Starbucks,
Get it double blended.
but it's not really a chino. So I guess that's your problem here is just, you can't just go based on a name.
Yeah.
You got to know what's actually in stuff. I guess there's always the whole avoid the appearance of evil argument, but
I should have pulled that comment.
But that's, I mean, we can't be such simple members to just take, like, I get this Area 70 hold. So some old guy at church doesn't understand what Starbucks makes in their drinks. And now you're like, that was not revelation. That was not doctrine from the prophet.
And first of all,
like, even if this was President Nelson who said it, this was not revelation as a prophet saying the word chino is evil.
Yeah. And we don't even have like a quote, which just says like this person said.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to avoid frappuccinos, it's fine, but they're not all word of wisdom unfriendly. This is a video I did that was just like, here are some garment friendly shorts from Amazon. And I will say, I was
ready for you to get comments on this one.
Why?
Because of people having different interpretations of what garment friendly shorts look like.
Well, that's the thing. I specifically said in the beginning of the video that garments fit differently on everybody. These shorts will fit differently on everyone. And then I also made another comment because people were commenting crazy stuff. And I said, by the way, you can't just go off the pictures on the Amazon because different models have different leg length. Like the shorts are going to fit, like go on your measurements. And I think I even said that in the video. But anyway, this person said, most of the shorts are shorter than where I think Most of the shorts are shorter than where I think garment wearer should wear for regular everyday. But that's just my opinion. I feel like the most recent generation of endowed girls tend to wear really short shorts or short dresses. I can't even tell if they're wearing garments. I think there's a lot of pressure in the world for them to dress that way because it looks cuter or better. I always felt that we were supposed to set ourselves apart from the world, but now I can't even tell who the members are anymore. I'm so sorry.
I can't judge people for their garments very well.
I'm so sorry you can't tell who the members are or not, but like actually no one's asking you to do that. Like,
but I mean, the big thing here is, I mean, people have said, oh, your garments must cover your knee. And so these shorts
Who said that?
In the past, that's been a way people have taken
people
it.
Have said that,
and so now they're saying, oh, these shorts don't cover your knees, so then they're bad. But garments used to come to your ankle.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't. I don't know if you can even buy ankle. I think you can get some.
You can get half.
I think there are still some that can come to your ankle.
And yeah, thermal ones.
But that is not the standard anymore. Back then, if you had your shorts coming mid-calf, they would have been like, whoa, little miss promiscuous out here. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing, is the way garments are designed now, it does not make sense to say that they're meant to cover your knee anymore. Well, they just don't fit that way on anybody I've met, really. You'd have to like intentionally oversize. You'd have to intentionally oversize to make that happen.
Yeah.
So that's where like it says like to the knee, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like, it's just kind of interesting, that interpretation that people have. And I get it, because some people then are saying, oh, well, if you're a regular sized person, but if you buy the extra short version, then you can get some extra short shorts to match, and then they're hacking the system with garments. So I see like people saying like, oh, we shouldn't be trying to do that. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't be trying to hack our garments, you know? I get that, but at the same time, like, you don't need to freak out if someone's knee's not covered.
Yeah, I mean, we honestly need to do a whole episode about that side of garments, of like people getting the short instead of regular, or like when people would wear the maternity or the nursing ones. But now, because it had a deeper, V-neck on it. I don't think you should say cleavage. No, yeah, we could do a whole episode about that whole side of it. But the reason I wanted to highlight this comment is just, I don't mean to be mean to this person, but I just think that this is, no, I don't want to be mean. No, I don't think she's ever going to see this. Eric, I'm not trying to be mean. I just wanted to highlight.
We're kind of mocking her.
When?
Just with your tone.
I was just reading how I thought she would be saying it.
Mm-hmm.
I was. Anyway, I really wish her all the best. I just wanted to highlight this. Like, I just don't know why we as members, like I am included in this, like feel the need to be the police over other people and like make comments like this.
I can't even tell.
Yeah, I can't even tell who's members or not
If
anymore.
you can't tell, if your only way of telling if someone's a member or not is based upon the length of their shorts, I'm concerned.
Yeah, and like even
their whole
like,
lifestyle, the way they devote themselves to Christ, should be a
why do
better
we
indicator.
even need to know that people are members at all? We should be kind and like love everybody, whether they're a member or not. And like her also saying like, I just feel like this most recent generation, they're just doing it because there's pressure in the world. It's like, I don't know, like let's just not make assumptions about why people are making certain choices. Leave that between them and God. You work on yourself. If you wear garments to your knees, good for you. I'm happy for you. But like, don't like look at other people and be like, they're doing it wrong because you are not in charge of that. So I think that's just something we can work on as a church. And I've talked about this before. Sorry if I repeat myself. I feel like I've been listening to the episodes and I'm like, wow, I feel like I have certain things I say in every episode. So sorry if you like listen to all our episodes, but like, I feel like it is hard because in the church, we have specific standards that are easy to tell whether you're living them or not, just by looking at someone or being around them. It's like can be very obvious. So I think that's where a lot of like this culture of like judgment and toxicity can come from. But I don't think it's impossible to avoid that. I think we just need to be aware. Like, yes, you can look at someone and say, oh, they are wearing a sleeveless shirt. I can tell they don't have garments on. But it's like, what do you do next? Would you dwell on that and be like, they're a bad member, I always wear my garments? Or is it like, okay, moving on, I'm going to be their friend still? You know what I mean? Like, why do we need to go that way? So just wanted to point that out. And I think we can all do better.
There we go. And that's where we'll end this.
No, I have to read the last
better.
one because it's so funny. Like, this genuinely made me laugh. It's on a video. I got a lot of hate on this one, but it was just a silly little video. It was just for fun. I like, you just have to have a sense of humor. It was ChatGPT writes a sacrament meeting talk. And
oh, yes, people were freaking out.
People were freaking out. Well, because I started it and I said, wow, I never am going to write a sacrament meeting talk ever again, which is obviously a joke. I'm not actually going to use ChatGPT. No, the talk was pretty generic. It was bland. Anyway, this person just commented, okay, my name is Sister Stupid. And I just thought that was funny. I kind of want to make it into some merch.
I don't think it's that funny.
You don't think it's that funny?
No.
Like, it's one thing if someone calls you stupid. It's another if they call you Sister Stupid. That's all.
Wow, there you go.
That was kind of fun. We did some funny ones. We did some like real question ones. That's good.
There we go.
I don't know how to end this. Don't just say bye. We have to tell them to. I was
gonna say keep
subscribe.
Commenting.
Yeah.
If you post stupid stuff, we will probably react to you. I don't know if that encourages you to do it or makes you realize to just think before you comment something because
we're gonna roast you.
Well, not really. You
Yeah,
don't let
not
me roast
really.
people.
No, we don't. That's not what Jesus would do.
We need to bring light and positivity to people's lives.
Yep, and encourage
Should we
them.
cancel this whole video because it is not bringing others to Christ? Is this bringing
No.
positivity and light, or is this taking people away from the Spirit?
Is our podcast over? No.
The whole podcast. In this episode, Mimi questions her entire life. Are we canceling the podcast? Is she moving to an Amish village?
I really think I should.
Move to an Amish village?
Well, I think I should just live by like missionary standards in my day-to-day life. Why not?
Yeah, sounds very easy and reasonable.
Okay, I never said it would be easy. I said it would be worth it.
I hate people say that's like a quote from Jesus.
I
Like,
know.
No.
I know. But I mean, it's along the same vein. My yoke is easy, my burden is light.
He literally says the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
He literally says it's easy if you do it my way. And people are like, he never
That's
said it would be easy.
true.
No.
Yeah,
He
I was
literally says,
using
my
the
yoke
scripture
is easy.
the wrong way. You're right.
My yoke is easy, my burden is light.
I know I said
My
it
way is not the
wrong.
hard way. That's what he says.
I know.
So yeah, that quote. Not a quote.
Anyway, be sure to subscribe and comment. And we do appreciate the positive comments. We obviously did more of the negative ones because
Or
they're
genuine
funny.
questions are great.
Genuine questions are good. You can always message us on Instagram and be sure to subscribe and comment. Oh, I already said that. And like. That's
And
what I
comment.
meant to say.
Don't
And
forget to
comment.
comment.
Okay.
You could comment.
Bye.